Turning now to Capitol Hill, a new battle over the next round of stimulus funding is just getting started. Now, leaders from both parties are making clear Illinois won't get the money requested by Senate President Don Harmon to help pay down the state's pension debt.
He says that he references Illinois. All the troubles in Illinois came by a Republican governor. So he's making it look like there's some blue state, red state thing here that we're bailing out. It has nothing to do with any other issues of the budget of any state. It only has to do with the coronavirus.
This week, Speaker Pelosi announced a new congressional panel to oversee how federal relief funds are used. One member is Illinois Congressman Bill Foster.
And Representative Foster joins us live this morning from Illinois' 11th Congressional District to talk about that. Congressman, nice to see you again. Actually,
happy to be here.
Yeah, let me pick up on what you heard Nancy Pelosi say. I mean, she says, look, this has to do with, mishandling under a Republican governor and stuff. The truth is that Senate President Don Harmon has asked the government for $41 billion. That probably goes beyond Corona. Sounds like it's trying to work with our pension problems a little bit. Is Nancy Pelosi right or wrong?
Well, look, this is part of a bigger issue. Illinois, for decades, Illinois has been losing about $40 billion every single year because we pay a lot more in federal taxes than we get back in federal spending. That's true of New York, California, New Jersey, all of the states that very often get in budget trouble. It's because they write a giant paycheck, frankly, to the Sun Belt states, the Western states, the low population states. And so it's not really a red state, blue state issue. It's largely a high population, low population issue. That if you look at states like Wyoming, which have less population than Will County, they have two senators. Will County, as far as I can tell, has a small fraction of one. They're wonderful senators, but we don't get all their time. And unfortunately, the Senate has been designing programs that steer money into these low population states and out of Illinois. If you just ask the question, if you look at all the money that gets siphoned out of Illinois every year and say, let's imagine that we would have put that into a rainy day fund. The balance in that rainy day fund today would be over $1.5 trillion, in which case we would not be worried about a $100 or $200 billion pension shortfall. And so, unfortunately, you saw in the first round of the bill that the Senate wrote for the coronavirus response, a continuation of that. You see, in terms of the state and municipal money, you saw states like Wyoming, like Vermont, get 5 times more than Illinois on a per-person basis. So a small town in Vermont or Wyoming got 5 times more municipal bailout money than a small town in Illinois. That is just inexcusable, but it's been going on for decades, and it's one of the things that I think we're going to have a hard look at on this. When the U.S. Congress has just allocated over $2 trillion. Just for reference, in today's dollars, the total cost of World War II was $4 trillion. And so we've spent roughly half that amount of money so far, and there's probably more to come. We have to make sure that when we spend money to help small business, that it actually goes to small businesses and not what we've seen, where the Trump administration set up this first come, first serve system that caused all of the larger businesses with pre-established relationships, often with the larger banks, to jump in the first in line. That's, they were doing what was allowed under the Trump administration's procedures, but the result of that is that literally millions of small businesses were left with nothing the way the Trump administration decided to deploy this money.
It sounds like
I think there's a role for Congress to make sure this money is going where Congress intended.
And Congressman, it sounds like you're going to push for more money for Illinois. Let's talk about this oversight committee. You're going to look at executive branch policies, deliberations, decisions, activities, and external communications related to the COVID-19 response. But there's already an inspector general for pandemic recovery, and the Government Accountability Office is up and running. It got a boost in funding to do its examination as well. So what is the point of this congressional committee?
Well, I see our role very much like the Truman Committee during World War II. The Truman Committee, which was, in that case, a Senate committee, set up to look at things like war profiteering, looking like misspending of money, this money going in the places that Congress did not intend. That committee saved over $10,000 for every dollar that was spent on it. So it's like the exact opposite of the Benghazi committee that we saw in previous Congresses that spent millions of dollars and came up with nothing. Here, you can already see questionable contracts. You can see profiteering on say, the masks, the N95 masks that used to go for pennies and are now going for dollars. Someone is pocketing enormous profits. Let's look at the distribution system that was set up. Let's look at the intermediate companies that are getting these contracts and understand why it was that the system for procuring that medical equipment was ended up putting enormous profits in the pockets of middlemen.
Congress, I do want to ask you, you are a scientist by trade, of course, and you and Representative Donna Shalala, others, are pushing to speed up the process of getting to the vaccine. Are you concerned about liability issues, and how do you push science any faster than science can go?
Yes, this is a very important thing. It's clear, I think, that we're only really going to get back to normal when we get a vaccine that works. And to make that happen as quickly as possible, there are two things you have to do. The first, you have to set up the high volume manufacturing for every vaccine that you think has a chance of working. This is something that had been suggested and done to some extent by the Gates Foundation many months ago now. And it's something that Congress has been allocating money for explicitly ever since the start. So we're happy to see that those contracts were in place, but frankly, I'm personally a little distressed to see that the head of BARDA, the unit of Health and Human Services that were responsible for putting those contracts in place, was recently fired by the Trump administration after, according as far as I can tell, doing a spectacular job in getting those contracts in place for the high volume manufacturing.
All right.
So that's only part of the puzzle. The other part is trying to make sure that the vaccines get approved and are proved to be safe and effective. And there is a technique called human challenge trials that gets used for malaria vaccines and others. We have to apply those same aggressive techniques to make sure that these vaccines get approved and that we approve the best of the over 70 vaccines that are in competition.
All right.
Because of the virulence of this, we have to make sure the best vaccines.
Congressman, we want to have you back and talk more about that. We appreciate that. 11th District Congressman Bill Foster, thanks for your time, sir. We're going to take another break, and up next on the WGN-TV Political Report. As
the curve starts to flatten in Chicago, city leaders are planning ahead for a financial recovery, what it will take to avoid more painful tax hikes. Stay with us.